Super Bowl history. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles are going to meet up in the Super Bowl on February the 12th. And there's a reason to celebrate already, no matter which team you're rooting for. Take a look.
Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts facing off. Guys, that is the first time ever there are two starting black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl.
Oh, I was getting my groove on a little bit to that. The first time ever. Now, y'all know I got to say this. It took too long, but I'm glad that we here. I just had to put that out there, and you love to see it. Former NFL player Shannon Sharpe discusses the importance of this moment. Now, I got to give you a fair warning. This next clip contains that dude, Skip Bayless. We couldn't help it, but here we are. Watch.
The first is always important. Hopefully it's not the last. We've had a lot of not a lot. We've had a few black quarterbacks start and win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
But never at the same time have we had two black quarterbacks face off against each other. Mm-hmm. Just old enough to remember. And I hopefully these guys, as they sit back and reflect on where they are, think about all the black quarterbacks that didn't get the opportunity that they got.
Good point.
I think that's what's important. These guys get an opportunity that a lot of guys didn't get that opportunity. So it just, Skip, I'm proud. I'm proud for my community. Both of these guys come from the black community. I'm proud for the National Football League that they finally wised up and realized that these men can do the job.
Yeah, I'm with Shannon on that. Very, very proud. And I love the fact that he pointed out they're not the first ones that had the skill set to be in the Super Bowl going head to head. They are the first ones to have the opportunity, and they definitely stand on the shoulders of the black men who came before them in that regard. And we need the bold, underline, underscore, exclamation point message in a bottle on a train, but not on Southwest, to what Shannon Sharpe had to say. That last part in particular, as he laid out, he weaved that in there quite nicely about the biases against black quarterbacks. And he elaborated a bit more using Doug Williams, the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl way back in 1988, as an example. Watch.
What Doug was able to do, Skip, Doug really, look, he wasn't the first, but you got to do something significant. Him winning the Super Bowl, which is the ultimate prize, showed that a black man had the capabilities, not only physically, but mentally, to withstand the rigors of that position, stand tall when it's all said and done. Once he did that, they were like, well, hold on, wait a minute. They weren't supposed to be able to process information fast enough. They weren't supposed to be able to be mentally strong enough to withstand it. We know physically they can, but what about mentally? Because that is the ultimate mental position.
There it is, and there's still moments like that in his history, but thank God Shannon Sharpe was able to lay that out just the way it is and the way it has been, and it still is. I mean, let's celebrate, but let's see if we get two more and two more and two more after that and after that and after that. Your thoughts, Jackson?
Well, like you pointed out, it's not just the significance that it's the first time, but also, it's been a stereotype for a while that, quarterbacks are white because they have to do the most thinking and things along those lines. And it's also good, too, that at the same time, the black community is making strides outside of sports as well, which is also very important because there's also kind of a stereotype that unless we're entertaining people, there's not that much opportunity.
Yes.
So another good thing about the times that we live in, streaming platforms and things like that are giving us the opportunity to just showcase more what we got. I'm curious. I didn't see this full interview, so I want to know what Skip Bayless was saying, because he typically has like a counter argument. I mean, I don't know if he gave one, but him and Shannon clearly don't like each other very much, which is hilarious because they.
Well, hopefully, I hope he didn't give a counter argument, Jackson, because this is the same man. He still got his job after the comments he made. He still has his job, but meanwhile, Kyrie got drugged through the mud. So I'm just, every time I see that dude, it just makes me so angry. So the bias, I mean, there has been and continues to be to this day. Don't let that fool you. Two black quarterbacks. Yes, we are going to celebrate. We're going to rest in that moment, no doubt. But I don't want you to believe that we have arrived, because we have not. No, we have not. So it's worth noting that the bias against black quarterbacks still lingers. When Mike Sandu of the Athletic released his annual NFL quarterback tiers article, in which he spoke with 50 NFL coaches and executives to get a sense of how those in the know see the men who play the game's most important position, it was clear that black quarterbacks still face an evaluation gauntlet that white quarterbacks generally do not. This reporting is coming from Touchdown Wire. We're used to the old school opinion in which black quarterbacks were seen as more athletic, white quarterbacks as more cerebral. And Shannon Sharp had mentioned that in his comments as well. In the article, Doug references Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and how coordinators and scouts across the league view them. Take a look at this. We love Mahomes because of his unorthodox throws, not because of his natural pocket presence, one anonymous source told Sandu. And when that disappears, that is when they lose games. I love the kid, but take his first read away, and what does he do? He runs, he scrambles, he plays street ball. Now compare that with an evaluation of Josh Allen, a white quarterback. Let's go ahead and make this comparison. For Josh Allen of the Bills, a quarterback who shares a lot of the street ball characteristics of Mahomes and Jackson, there appears to be the automatic assurances that he will figure it out. So Josh Allen will figure it out, but the black quarterback cannot. Yeah. And Josh Allen is a better version of Lamar, and I love him as a football player, a defensive coordinator said. I still think he is erratic as a thrower, but he's ascending. So what we're seeing here is the bias against black quarterbacks and how they are perceived as street ballers and not students of the game of football. Why can't they be both? Bringing that street ball flair and be students of the game, which is what makes them extraordinary. Why can't they be both? But no, they gotta be one or the other. But hopefully this Super Bowl alone will shift the tide and black quarterbacks will be given the same respect as their white counterparts. And Jackson, I mean, this is another topic that we could spend a whole show talking about the biases within sports. It's not only about black players being quarterbacks or not being able to be quarterbacks, not given the opportunity to do so. It's also when it comes to being a pitcher too. You know, any of the so-called thinking positions for a very long time in this country. And as we can see, even today, the bias that black people cannot think and therefore they cannot hold those positions still persist, unfortunately.
I mean, how many black head coaches are there in the NFL? So, yes. You know, it goes around to other positions of leadership as well. Black management, high positions in the executives, all of those things. So definitely.
Sure, no, it really, really does. Well, this is still worth celebrating, you all. We're just pointing out, some of the things that we need to keep in mind as we do celebrate. More importantly, we have not arrived. But congratulations, so excited for this particular moment in Black history and American history.